Hello, welcome to episode 3 of Character Corner. And today the character that I want to talk about is from the Mistborn series, which was written by Brandon Sanderson. Brandon Sanderson is one of my favorite fantasy authors. And his Mistborn series has one of his main characters is a hero by the name of Kelsier. Now, I don't have a hard copy of the book to show you because I read it electronically. But I have bought the hard copies before, and I end up always giving them away because it's such a great series, and I like people to experience that series. So if you're looking for a good fantasy series to read, I would recommend Mistborn. That's a great trilogy. And Kelsier, in this series, he's the leader, no question. He is the leader, but he's got this rich background that Brandon Sanderson weaves throughout the storyline, and you find out that he's referred to as the survivor of Hathsin. Hathsin is a mining prison for criminals, and nobody survives Hathsin. They eventually die. They have to mine these geodes that have an element called I'm trying to remember what it's called, atium, I think. But anyway, if they don't find a geode each week, they'll be beaten to death. And Kelsier is the only person to survive that and to escape. And he later learns how to use the entire range of the magic system that Mistborn has. One of the things I love about Mistborn is it's got this unique magic system where you can consume a metal and burn that metal, and each metal has a different type of power associated with it. And a Mistborn is somebody who can burn all of the different elements or all the different metals that are known to have powers. Where some others that are able to do this magic can only burn one particular element. So Kelsier can burn all of them. So it gives him these almost unstoppable warrior type abilities that he's able to do, and he becomes this mythical figure and he becomes this drawing point of the people that are being downtrodden and held down by the noble class. So the people that are downtrodden, they're called the Ska, and he is their hope. And he puts together this rebellion because he wants to overthrow the ruler, who is basically a god. So why do I like Kelsier so much? It's funny. The one thing that sticks out in my mind about Kelsier, and there's a lot of things that can stick out in your mind about him, but one thing that always stuck out in my mind is that whenever he sat down with his gang of thieves or his central crew of people that were central to his plot, he would always turn his chair around and sit with his legs over the chair, kind of like this. I'll turn my chair around. He'd do this. He'd turn his chair around and sit like this to talk to his group. And that just stuck out in my mind. It's just a little thing that Brandon Sanderson did to kind of make you think more about the character. But he also, he has some other defining physical characteristics. He's kind of hawkish. He's got scars down his arms because of the time that he spent in the pits of Hathsin. And but another thing that is great about him is that despite all of this tragedy in his life, and there's a lot more that I'm not going to go into because this would go on for an hour if I did, he always, in the pits of Hathsin, he was sent there with his wife. He believed, when they got captured and sent there, he was led to believe that he was discovered and captured because she betrayed him. And so he always believed that she had betrayed him. And I'm not going to give away what he finds out about that betrayal, but because I don't want to ruin the story for you. Despite that betrayal, he always still loved her, and it was his eternal optimistic nature that allowed him to get past that and continue to love her, despite the fact that the evidence said that she betrayed him. But this optimism carries throughout the book as well, because against all odds, he always believes that there's a way. And sometimes, he attacks an army by himself one time because he's so optimistic about his own invulnerability, and that optimism also leads me to my favorite quote from Kelsier when he's speaking to the Lord Ruler, who is this guy that's basically a god. He says to him, "I represent the one thing that you've never been able to kill, no matter how hard you try. I am hope." I think that's such a great line. So if you're looking for a book with some great characters. And by the way, there's a lot of great characters in the Mistborn series. I've just highlighted one, Kelsier. Kelsier's arguably the most famous, maybe the second most famous, most important character. Vin is probably the most important character in that series, but Kelsier is right up there. Great character. Brandon did a great job of, like I said, creating this backstory that's very rich, creating a character that's very memorable. So I'd highly recommend that book. And thanks, and I'll see you next week on Character Corner.